Hey guys, it's Kate and I'm back with another swatch video. Today we're still going to be working in the MeiLiang palette and I'm going to be working with the primaries Rose Red, Payne's Gray, which is a really nice dark blue, and Cadmium Yellow. And I've got my pigment numbers noted here, so if you work with a different brand and you have the same pigments, which Payne's Gray and Cad Yellow in this set are multiple pigment colors, but if you have a color in your set with PV19, the pigment, it's going to be a similar color to my Rose Red. So first I'm going to swatch each of these colors in my little journal, and the Rose Red is just a really beautiful pinky red color, and it's just so rich on the page. And then Payne's Gray, which I am pretty much at the bottom of my pan here because it's a favorite, is a really nice kind of gray blue color. And then lastly, I'm going to dip into my Cadmium Yellow, which is this color here in my palette, and put that on the paper. And I think this is going to be a nice mixture. I haven't really done it on purpose yet, but that's what we are going to find out today. So I'm going to start with my Rose Red. And next, I am actually going to go into the Cad Yellow and mix that in a bit. And I think this is going to make some really gorgeous sort of peachy red mixes. So I'm just going to blot my brush well, dip into some more of this yellow color and add it, and then we'll swatch it, and that is gorgeous. Let me go into some more yellow. And it's just getting to be this really nice peach, this peachy orange, and this you get some, it's turning into some really lovely orange colors. So if you work with orange and you want to mix one, a nice Cad Yellow and Rose Red mix might get you just what you want. These are really pretty. I'm just trying to rinse my brush kind of often so that I'm not contaminating my palette, but you know, you take one for the team, I guess. So now we're getting pretty close to that yellow. I'm going to start adding in some of my blue, and the Payne's Gray is a strong blue color, so I'm just adding a little bit on the tip of my brush to start with. And we will go from there. So I'm going to start this next row, and this has that blue added. I'm going to dip in a little bit more, and you can see how it makes a big difference. And we've got a really nice sort of neutral greenish color kind of starting, and it's getting darker as we go with that Payne's Gray. So I'm just adding it little by little into my mixing well, and now we're veering more toward that Payne's Gray color, but we still have a little bit of that greenish hue to it. Now I'm going to dip in a little bit more and make it a bit of a stronger, darker mix, and now we're starting to get kind of close to that Payne's Gray, but we're not really there yet. This might get us pretty close. And it's still slightly yellowish, but I think we're pretty good. So let's go back into this Rose Red, and I'm going to add, I just wiped a little bit off my brush, and I'm going to add a little bit into this mixture, and you get this really gorgeous purple color, like that. Add a little bit more. And now it's starting to get more rosy looking. And it's just gorgeous. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of orange this is going to make once we start adding some yellow back in, which I think I might go ahead and do now. And get some of that cadmium yellow. And now this is going to be that rose red and the yellow, but it's going to be different than over here because we've got a little bit of that Payne's gray mixed in with it still. And that's going to be a bit more of a muted color, not quite so bright and peachy like we have over here, although it will slowly start going in that direction the more yellow we add and the less Payne's gray we have left in the mix. Now, I think I'd like to go from this orange color back over to Payne's gray, because we don't really have that direct transition yet. So let's see what we get. And I'm getting, starting a nice kind of chocolatey tan brown color, which is really pretty. And then it'll keep on neutralizing the more Payne's gray that we mix in. And this is sort of turning into a darker brown, but still keeping with that sort of reddish orange we've got still. It's a lot different than these mixtures we have over here. This definitely has an orange hue to it. So I'm going to dip into some more Payne's gray, and we'll keep going with these neutrals. And then it's going to just darken up really nicely again. And we have a lot of neutrals in this one, but these are much different than these, even though both of them have a pretty strong mix of that Payne's gray. And I think this one is starting to look much more blue, but it's still slightly different than this one over here. So let's start adding some yellow to this and see what kind of greens we're going to get. And that's really nice. That is looking a little bit more like over here. But I think we're going to get some fun greens on this side. And it's looking like some really nice foliage. That bright foliage that you'd want to see. I'm going to get a little bit more yellow. And now we're starting to move back toward yellow. And I'm blotting my brush really well off to the side. I don't want to add a ton of water to my paint mix, but I do want to rinse my brush often. But I'm also blotting it very well on a paper towel to the side. So let's see about adding a little bit of this pink. And now we're starting to head back toward that brown. And let's see about just a little bit more. Let's just come down the side, shall we? And I think we might have come full circle. So this is a really beautiful mix. I love these pink purples that you get with that rose red mixed with the Payne's gray. I'm going to hold this up so you can see a close-up of our colors that we made together. And then we can compare them to the ones that we made so far. So this one is the Sienna, Prussian Blue, and Lemon Yellow. And this one on the first page is the Scarlet, Yellow Ochre, and Ultramarine. So look at all these colors we're building now with just 9 colors used out of our palette. The convenience colors are great to have, but when you get into color mixing, it really opens up a new world. And I love mixing colors, but I have never made a library, and I'm really happy to be building this one now because then I can actually use it as a reference for color schemes that I might like to use, especially if I'm working maybe on some abstracts and I want to have some nice mixtures and just see what I can expect from each color mixture. And this is going to be a really great reference to have. So I'm excited to keep going with this, and especially if you're getting ready to graduate, let's say to the next, you know, professional palette or something, or you want to get nicer watercolors or higher quality watercolors and you can't afford a large palette, you can do a ton with just a few colors. And so if you kind of know some of your pigments and you know how they work together, then you could invest in maybe 6 tubes of paint or 6 pans from a more expensive brand and mix a whole range of colors for your paintings and do it confidently. So anyway, I'm really excited to keep going with this library and just get these colors built up. And the swatching is so relaxing. You don't have to think about it. You just add a little at a time. And so it's kind of meditative too. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. And until then, keep creating.